Seems like your gears have really been grinded on today.
I mean, this morning was wild, dude.
Did they
I
get any better at all?
Yeah, the day got better because a meeting got canceled and I got to take a nap this afternoon. But dude, I had to I had to be out in Blue Springs this morning by 8 o'clock, right? So that's a 30-minute drive for me. Waking up by or not waking up by 7:30, leaving the house by 7:30. And I'm on I'm on a highway, but not like a major highway. I wasn't on an interstate. I was on a 45-mile-an-hour road in like morning traffic. Like there are plenty of cars on the road. And I saw something that made me laugh, but at the same time kind of made my blood boil. And my wife hadn't woke up yet. Most of my friends were doing their morning routine. I mean, half of them were asleep because, I do know some unemployed people. But Ty Bob was about
Fucked
the
up.
only person that was available for me to get this off my chest, okay? Because like I yelled as soon as he answered the phone, pretty much. But I needed to get it off my chest because I saw so I didn't think humans could be so stupid.
Oh, brother.
If you need reading glasses to look at your phone, to read the words on your phone screen, maybe wait until you reach your destination. The reading glasses. This person was obviously older than me. I don't know if they were a boomer or not, Gen X, whatever. If my parents are in the car and I touch my phone, they start like sweating and freaking out, like, oh my god. How do we have someone from that type of generation that is like, well, let me pull my readers out and squint my eyes so I can look at my phone while I'm driving 45 miles per hour. If I'm a passenger in that car, I would be freaking out.
That's concerning. Like
It is
that you
concerning,
need
dude.
that you need readers. No, number one, my parents also need readers, but we also make sure that their phone, like the text on the phone, is zoomed in enough where they can read it without. But also, if you
I
need
mean, but
readers, like to read your
people
phone
people
while
get
you're
to that
driving,
people get to that point where they still like they can zoom it in as far as it'll go, and they still need the help of a reading lens
right? But what
because
what
it's
I'm saying
close
is
to
like
their face.
if that doesn't work, like if just zooming in simply doesn't work, and you need readers, maybe just leave the phone alone, especially when you're
Exactly.
behind the wheel. Just leave the phone alone.
And from the generation of people who were like preaching to us, like pleading with us to get off of our phones while we drive. I see this lady pulling the readers out from somewhere to put them on, and the old people look when they got the readers on, and they're trying to adjust, and I'm like, you are, I mean,
There's
you're
no
gonna
way you can see
crash,
the
lady.
road. There's no way you can see the road with radars on. Still got to do the squint with the cloud. That's crazy. I'm glad I haven't come across. I've come across way too many people on the road with their phones out, just holding up traffic. It's gotten really bad. I'm not a fan of it. I get behind every time. Go
Well, now our
downtown.
now our boomers and Gen Xers are all doing it. Like they saw how good we were at it, and they were like, well, let me try.
It's all the millennials. They're like, I could do. No, you can't. And honestly, millennials and younger, just leave your phone alone while you're driving. Just I, the speed limit is 65. You're going 35 on a 6 lane highway. Move it.
Have you
The
experienced that?
phone down.
Because I
Oh my
have
God.
not. But
Yes. Yes. Every time I go downtown, I always get stuck behind somebody going 35 and a 65. Put the phone down. I don't even, it's people who are talking. It's not even people who are texting. It's people who are talking on the phone and they've got it on speaker. Just up here, not connected
Well,
to the car, no
that's
headset
not a
in.
big deal to me.
Here's the problem. They have it on speaker and they're still not going the speed limit. They're under by 30 miles an hour. If you can't
If your
talk on the
mind
phone,
can't multitask to the point where like just talking and you're able to do the activity that you're
that's what I'm
doing,
saying.
like if you can't do that, like you need to have some self-awareness and make some better choices.
It also grants, but while we're on the subject of it, I know they have commercials making fun of it and bringing awareness to the issue. Get off speaker while you're in the store. Don't want to hear your conversation. I don't care what you have to say. Put an earbud
Is there a
in.
specific audience you're trying to target with that statement?
Old people,
Oh.
old people in Costco.
That's not where my head was at, but that's okay.
Where were you going with?
That's for another pod. Um, but
Dude,
you know,
get off
like
the phone in the store.
if you guys really feel the need to be on your phones while you're driving and whatnot, get yourself one of the car mounts that might adjust towards you a little bit so that you can just like one hand on the wheel, boop boop boop, just like you would your car screen. Like if you needed to like push navigation or like switch something on your car screen, like you can one hand on the steering wheel and boop boop boop. You can do that shit, okay?
They're like
Like
$5 on Amazon, and they charge your phone at the same time.
well, I
Not
don't
that
have one
hard.
of the charger ones, but you know, I got cords in my car. That ain't no thing. But like, I gotta if I want to play like a YouTube video or a movie while I'm driving, I got it stacked right here, both hands on the wheel,
Please don't tell me you watch a movie or YouTube videos while you drive.
brother. With how many times I've made the Kansas City, St. Louis to Kansas City drive, something's got to be on, and music doesn't always do it for me. I drove to a wedding in Indiana, and I watched Gurren Lagann the entire series while during the drive. Great anime, by the way.
Disappointing.
I mean, how is that? I mean, like, I don't have to stare at the screen. Like, I can hear what's going on. Like, how is that any different than music?
I mean, if you're not looking at the screen, sure, sure, but I feel like I don't know. I don't know. Whenever I'm driving and I like have red zone on so I can hear it in the background, I usually have my phone like under somewhere so I'm not distracted by it. But that's just me.
That's pussy shit. I can't tempt myself. Just turn the
Because
screen
I
off.
will listen, I will lock the fuck in on the screen.
I have like two or three minor fender benders where I've like and none of them were phone related. I the only major accident I've ever been in was not my fault. So I'm a good driver. One of the times I ran into someone's bumper, they were pulling at like we were at a stoplight with a right hand turn yield lane. So you could make the right turn or whatever, but if there was oncoming traffic, you had to yield, right? Well, this grandma, like very old lady, like went like the car was in the lane, and I start turning to look at oncoming traffic, and my car is creeping up. Zero damage. Like the she called the police, and the police did the officer didn't even write up a report. No reporting to insurance, no nothing. But like she I turned to look at oncoming traffic, and I creeped forward and just like hit something. I was like, what the. She was halfway in the lane. She was halfway in the oncoming traffic lane, completely stopped, and I'm like, what? That shit, old. I mean, the topic of old people driving needs to be like revisited every now and then because I like the idea of just kind of you reach a certain age and you got to take a like a
Retest.
not a full driving test, but like a
No,
competency test.
full
That like
full driving test. You hit a certain age, full driving test. Eligible for 2 years. Then you got to retake it.
If we did that now, the boomers would fucking lose it.
Good.
I can drive, god damn it. You take my key from me.
It's a free country. Do what I want. I mean, my dad did drive on a revoked license for
We don't have to
17
talk
years.
about that on air. We don't have to talk about that one on air.
It's good now. It's fixed. Speaking of accidents, Patrick Mahomes had one last week
Wow,
against the
dude, good
Chargers.
tie-in. Good segue.
Thanks,
Look at
dude.
that.
Appreciate you. Torn
Speaking of
ACL,
accidents,
then torn ACL, then it came out that during his surgery that he also had a fully torn LCL. So he's got both of those working for him. Thankfully, the MCL and the uh, TCL stayed intact, so don't have to worry about those. It's two that in 24 hours he had surgery. Had the Chiefs team doctor take a look at him, then went for a second opinion down in Dallas from the nation's he's a top three knee surgeon in the world. Got those repaired down there. He's due back in Kansas City and Friday, he's already started rehab. They'll take him through the full regiment through the off season, through the remainder of the season, and then whatever he'll do through the off season.
I bet
Rick,
I know a lot of what his early PT would look like because a couple rugby seasons ago I strained my LCL pretty bad.
there you go. It's not fun. Rehab is not fun. I can tell you that.
Well, I
Um,
mean, if you're dealing with like ongoing pain, which I'm sure after tearing something like that, Pat probably is, but like PT exercises just to like strengthen some shit really ain't that bad.
I don't know. I had to do it for both shoulders. It wasn't fun.
I mean, were you just bored? Like, it's not like that stuff is like hard.
Well, I mean, I had reconstruction on both, so it wasn't.
You
It, it,
probably
it
were
was
dealing
it
with more
was
shit.
very difficult, and it took me multitude of years to get range of motion back.
Maybe you like take care of your shoulders, dude.
What Rick Bull Bergholter? There we go. The Chiefs head of medical, whatever he does. He's their head athletic trainer. He did give us a timeline. He said he expects Pat roughly around the 9 month time frame, give or a couple of months. He talked about to the press how Pat has handled injuries before, how he recovers quickly, more quickly than some others. And they could expect him back by week one, not necessarily that September October timeline. So could be ready by training camp. They is partial expectation.
Well, I mean, with all we discussed last episode, if the roster isn't at an acceptable place, like
Hold them out.
bringing Pat back almost doesn't even matter, man.
Won't do anything good.
Could end up actually like fucking his entire like the rest of his career.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Speaking of guys who will be hitting the sideline for a little bit, Tua Tagovailoa will be saying aloha to the bench. He has been benched by the Dolphins. It is the Quinn Ewers show down in Miami.
bench all Miami wide receivers.
If you haven't already, which you should have. Oh,
There was still hope
got
for
on the
Waddle.
bench.
I mean, people were still clinging to a little bit.
I know I may still be clinging on to hopes for Waddle in a league. Huh. It's an interesting thing going on with Tua because is the owner going to side with Tua? I mean, they owe him a bunch of money. I think he's a $70 million cap hit coming up. Most of his contract was guaranteed. He's still got what 4 or 5 years remaining on his contract. Or does he go with Mike McDaniel and do they look to try and offload him in Tua in some way, shape, or form? I think the smarter move would obviously be to move off of Tua, but at the end of the day, you owe him a ton of money. He's going to count against your cap regardless. Uh, I don't know if you can move off of Tua.
I mean, other franchises have had to eat a lot of money on a quarterback situation, but when it's like when it's the best move for your team, like winning games and team success will like the money will eventually come. Like you'll work off of it. I mean, it's a slow process, but if if you made a mistake and the quarterback that you paid all that money to is not going to help your franchise out, I mean, decisions have to be made.
Swap Kyler and Tua.
Neither would succeed, bro. Like you talk about a lose lose trade for a situation.
A lot of NFL fans have seen this season as a lose lose when viewing the entertainment on screen. There's been quite a few injuries, but more so from the refs. And now we're seeing, I don't know if you saw this story, Puka Nacua called out the refs for being horrible on his live stream yesterday. That's not something that the NFL takes lightly. That generally has been met with fines, potentially.
Yeah.
It's been major fines. There have been no suspensions as of yet, but that is, I would assume, not out of the question, given the statements that were made, and then obviously also on his own platform, so he couldn't be stopped from saying or changing what he was saying because there was not a PR person for the team with him doing that.
Whatever. I mean, whatever I saw, like was like he said something along the lines that refs just make calls to get TV time.
Yep.
Was there anything more that he said, or was like,
I mean, that was the gist of it. He talked about how poor they've been and that they make calls regardless of correct or incorrect because they want TV time.
yeah, there's there, there's just too many examples of. I mean, even what went down in that Chiefs Bills game, the yeah, I mean, or no, it's Chiefs Lions. Sorry, not Chiefs Bills. Chiefs Lions. Um, the whatever was reported to Dan Campbell, like New York made a call. The refs waited like a minute or almost 2 minutes after the Bills had scored a touchdown, and then they called a penalty. Like, so you've got incidents like that where like the stuff from New York and the like changing calls or like telling them to make a call. Like you got that situation, right? But like pass interference has been such a debated topic since like even I was a kid. Like I love Gruden's clip on specifically talking about pass interference. Like the penalty should call itself, right? Like everybody should know when pass interference has occurred, right? It should be very obvious. And my issue is that like not even in just Chiefs games, there will be blatant pass interference calls that don't get called, and then in other random situations you have minor contact that leads to like holding and defensive pass interferences. So I want it to be like Gruden says. There has to be some sort of standard that like the when pass interference occurs, it should be very obvious. If people are just hand fighting back and forth with each other, like probably should be a no call. But if a wide receiver is getting knocked down before the ball gets there, there should be a penalty. If you're jumping on somebody's back before the ball gets there, there should be a penalty. Like I don't know how hard it has to be to get something standardized to where I mean I don't know how many crews of referees the NFL employs, but your number of crews should all be on the same page when it comes to that shit.
At least
And
16.
no kidding. Like
Well, they've
it
got at least 16. You
shouldn't
should
be
have
that
more for
complicated.
backup.
It shouldn't be that complicated of a thing. And like the viewership unfortunately, like how much the NFL beats out all the other sports when it comes to viewership, there's no motivation for those billionaires and the people that run the freaking NFL to change anything. If people are going to continue to tune in to the product that we are giving you, why are we going to make any real change?
Well, and it goes back to something we always talk about on this show specifically is that the refs are not full time employees. The easiest way to make a change, make them full time employees, and then you can then reprimand them for poor performance. The easiest way to do this is just reprimand them for poor performance if they're full-time employees. They're not full-time employees. They don't have benefits. All they get is a paycheck for a few weeks. Now, it's a large paycheck. They should take pride in their job and the thing that they're doing for the entertainment industry, since they're being paid such a large sum of money. But at the end of the day, the NFL is not able to reprimand them or suspend them outside of nefarious means that if they're gambling or whatever, you can't really do anything other than a little slap on the wrist, because they're not full-time employees. They cannot be held to, unfortunately, a specific standard.
It's, I mean, I might be hypocritical in saying this, but even with that issue, I'm still going to keep watching football.
Still
Like,
gonna watch.
still going to watch it. So
just
I
like
might be
just
part of
like
the
you
problem, but
just like you yahoos out there that watch the WWE and know it's scripted. That's why you can't
it,
bet on it.
well, if we didn't have topics like this to talk about, there would almost be no pod. So I guess it's the way she goes. Circle of life.
Talking about Circle of Life, Tybo, we have got second round of the playoffs coming up for most people. Some of you, it's
Now that
first
segue
round.
I didn't get. What the fuck
I,
did that
I
mean?
don't know. I don't know. Don't worry about it. The circle of life.
It's the
Uh,
circle
should
of life.
should be the semifinals for most of you. If it is not, your commissioner is doing things wrong and you should fire him. But Tybo's got tips here that he has put together that you need to know before going into week two, or round two of your fantasy football playoffs.
Thanks for that long-winded intro. It's a
Yeah.
surprising stardom situm because I have one player from the stardom last week going to the situm this week. Bum bum bum.
Dun 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 dun.
Du-du-du-du-du. um. All right. For the stardom list, I have a quarterback for you that very well could be a league winner because of the weeks he has started. There's only like 1 or 2 weeks he hasn't been in the top five of fantasy quarterbacks. I am talking about, you guessed it, Jacoby Brissett of the Cardinals playing the Falcons this week, and Marvin Harrison Jr. might be back. There's a chance that he's back. Even without him, I didn't include him on the starting list because of the fact that Marvin Harrison Jr. could be coming back, but it's probably a safe bet to start Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson.
I really hope he doesn't come back because I need Michael Wilson to go off.
Running back. This is actually, like, on paper, not a great matchup, but I just think the Chargers have been playing decently well, and Omarion Hampton is probably a decent reason for that. So I'm going to tell you to start Omarion Hampton at the Cowboys.
Just put him in the lineup.
Wide receiver. Were you going to say anything?
No, I was just saying I just put him in the lineup.
No. Okay. You're freezing a little bit for me. Like
You
you're.
are you're freezing for me, and I'm the one recording, so you're good.
I guess it's my internet. Um, Wide receiver. Trying to predict who in the Packers receiving core has a big day is usually a tough task. With Christian Watson dealing with injury, I think it's going to be Jaden Reed. Start Jaden Reed at the Bears. The Bears have been abysmal in pass coverage. And just a few weeks ago, we were talking about somebody on their defense coming back and the coverage improving. But the last couple of weeks, the Bears have struggled on defense. Starting tight end. This was a hot um, topic when Philip Rivers came back. Philip Rivers came back. Daniel Jones goes down. Um, would Tyler Warren be a startable tight end? And Philip Rivers showed you that he pretty much can only throw to a tight end. Um, and I think for those reasons, you should start Tyler Warren at the 49ers. If if the Colts get anything going during the passing game, it's more than likely going to be through Tyler Warren. On to the Siddums. Everybody's favorite, but he's playing the Vikings, and they are quarterback killers. They held Dak Prescott to 11 points last week. Sit Jackson Dart versus the Vikings.
Damn.
Running back. Here comes my start him last week to sit him this week. Sit Travis Etienne versus the Broncos. The Jaguars just had an offensive explosion, but that Broncos defense is something else. I do feel that they have all the capabilities to contain Travis Etienne. Sit him wide receiver was probably my toughest pick this week. I didn't have anything great based on matchups. And there was a lot that was kind of obvious. So I'm going with sitting Khalil Shakir at the Cleveland Browns. Um, Browns have a decent defense, but I'm just kind of hoping that if the Bills do a lot on offense, it's with James Cook and Dalton Kincaid. You know, sometimes if the Bills' offense is experiencing success, Khalil Shakir can seem like an afterthought because he's really not a true number one. So that one is, that one's my shakiest call, I would say.
That is interesting because go ahead with your tight end. I'll let you finish.
So, can you, while I'm talking, can you look up who the Bucks are playing?
They're playing the Panthers.
They're playing the Panthers, and the Panthers. That struck my memory there. The Panthers have actually done really well against tight ends this year, and the Bucks offense is just struggling. Kate Otten can also, even though I thought he should have been a focal point while they were having all their injuries at wide receiver. Kate Otten just definitely has not been a focal point. He can also seem like an afterthought in that offense. And I got to tell you to sit somebody, so sit Kate Otten.
Uh, it's a very interesting stardom sit 'em, and more so on your sit 'em the last couple. You touched on two Bills players in Khalil Shakir, who you're sitting, and then you also talked about Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid has not been very good after coming back from injury. Dawson Knox has actually exploded the last two games, which is very interesting. But what I think of
His
most
preferred, I
interesting in
mean,
this.
Dawson Knox would be benefiting from other people focusing on Dalton Kincaid because Josh Allen's preferred target is Dalton Kincaid.
Yes. And what I find the most interesting here, since you mentioned the Bills, is we're getting very close. We're obviously week 16, so 3 weeks left. This is incentive time. We've got incentives going on, and we've got guys who can hit incentives this week with really good performances. Dawson Knox and Khalil Shakir are both players who, with good performances this week, can hit their bonuses, which I believe Dawson Knox has the potential to get $300,000 to $500,000 from performance bonuses with a decent week this week, and Khalil Shakir has at least $100,000 on the line from a decent performance this week.
Well, you can obviously tell I was not taking any of that into account. I just kind of I had to choose like I said,
Well, you've got
there was a lot of obvious decisions out there. There weren't any great calls based on matchups. So I just had to
I
go. I
think
had to
it's
go with somebody. So
no, I think it's fine. It's not a
he's.
not
I
an
mean,
indictment
he could
on
go
you. I
for
just think it's
his
interesting.
ceiling is pretty low. Like he's not going to get you over 20 points usually,
Yes.
unless he has an anomaly of a game. Like it's either 15 points or like 3 with Khalil
Yeah.
Shakir. So like it's like I mean 50-50 shot in the dark here. Khalil Shakir might have a good game, but it also could be an off week for him.
Absolutely, and that wasn't an indictment on your picks there. I actually think that they're all interesting and could be a really good week. It's just I
The
found it
most out
interesting because of the incentive bonuses that are
the
out there
most
now.
risky call still I feel like is sitting Travis Etienne. If you don't, I mean, some teams, I mean, running backs are scarce regardless, but some teams won't be able to sit him. I just think it's a tough matchup, and a lot of times in the NFL, if teams come off a good game, they have a shit week next week. Like that's happened so many times this year in the NFL. So I'm just trying to play law of averages type shit.
Well, hopefully those law of averages play out for you in your fantasy football leagues. Semifinals are here, and it's getting rocky on my end. It's getting very rocky on my end. I am nervous trying to win that money.
Did you pick all the games of the week? I don't
Um,
remember being involved in that decision at all.
you were not involved in that decision. We no longer have a Chiefs segment. The Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs. There's no reason to talk about their games in depth. So what did I do
Let's
here?
go
I picked
Mississippi
all.
Mudflap, baby. I got all the faith. I have zero faith in Gardner
I,
Minshew. The interception to end that game against the Chargers pissed me off so much because I thought he was doing all right. I thought he was doing all right. He
he
got the ball to
was,
Travis Kelsey a couple times, and I was like, okay, okay, we might have a chance with all
and no.
that same feeling in my voice. But
Well, since we're not going to be talking about the Chiefs, I figured we'd take some time and talk about not only the games that are the best out of the games of the week, but also the games that have the highest implications. Teams that are still in the playoffs and teams that could that can move up and down based in the seedings with wins and losses, or those that could miss out completely. Our first game that we're going to start off with here is Packers Bears, where the Bears are 1.5 point dogs at home against the Packers. And I believe this is a Saturday game. It is. It's the Saturday night game going on here now that college football is fully over after the conference championships games. The NFL likes to take over Saturdays as they move through bowl season. And the biggest reason here is you've got implications for both teams. The Bears are the number 2 seed,
I mean, it's the
only
NFC
one.
North, dude. This is a divisional matchup. Like this has
And
a lot. Like
yeah, well, I mean, you've got number one. If the Bears have a chance to take the number 1 seed, if the Bears lose, they have a chance at missing the playoffs. If the Packers win, they could win the division and take a 2 or a 3 seed. If they lose, they're going to probably miss the playoffs. They've lost Micah Parsons. We thought that Christian Watson broke his clavicle last week. He's potentially going to be playing. He was a
I was gonna
limited
say, he's still
participant in
got the
Wednesday's
questionable tag,
practice.
but stand strong on that Jaden Reed pick. I think if there's another playmaker that steps up in that offense, it's probably him.
Quay Walker, starting middle linebacker, went down injured in that game, was able to come back, but he's dealing with an injury. You got right tackle Zach Tom, I believe it is. He
Yeah.
went down in that game with an injury, came back as well, but also obviously nagging at an injury and losing Micah Parsons is massively detrimental to their defense because they traded away one of the league's best run stoppers to get him. And so now you're down a really, really good run stopper, and you're down obviously your best pass rusher. And that defense did not play very well against the Broncos last week. And Bo Nix, who has been lighting it up the last couple weeks, but really hasn't been that good this season.
Yeah, losing Micah
Peaking at the
Parsons,
right time,
you need your secondary to step up, and because you're going to
and they're
get
not
less
doing it.
pressure on the quarterback, and it didn't as as much as we love to talk shit on Bo Nix, like he wasn't having a great season. Like he won games for sure. Like the Broncos are winning games, but statistically and like film wise, like Bo Nix was making a lot of mistakes and not making certain plays, but he was making all the plays against the Packers defense. So that brings into question like how can they or how will they make up for the loss of Micah Parsons? If you got they're decent. They're a decent wide receiver core. But if you got Cortland Sutton, Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims lighting it up against you, what happens when you play the Lions? What happens when you play the Cowboys? What happens when you play
The
the
Rams.
Eagles, the Rams in the playoffs?
It's going to get scary for the Packers. I really don't have faith for them, and this is going to be the test on if they can continue the way they have been through the season so far. As far as like winning games on the back of their defense, because the Bears are really, really good at takeaways, but their defense really outside of getting takeaways isn't that good. They don't know how to stop an air raid. They don't know how to stop the run. But their offense has been firing on almost all cylinders this season. Caleb Williams has completely turned it around thanks to head coach and
And doesn't throw
offensive guru.
interceptions.
Doesn't throw interceptions. Offensive line is protecting him. They have an amazing run game with two fantastic running backs. This is going to be their test. If they cannot keep up with the Bears, if they cannot hold the Bears' offense, they are not. They don't have a shot in the playoffs. They really don't. And that's not an indictment on who they are. The Packers are throughout the season. It's just where they are now. And they've got some trouble. And honestly, I think the Bears can do it. They've shown that they've been able to win really tough games this season, even though it's a division matchup. Bears are
The home
frisky.
field
They're fun.
advantage. The home field advantage won't be weather related, obviously, because we have another Midwestern team used to the elements. But home field advantage has to mean something in these types of games. So I would lean Bears, but it's still Toyotathon, so we could see a shootout.
I would much rather see a shootout in this game, and I think that it can definitely turn that way, given the defensive issues that they both have. A shootout in this game would be very fun, at least from a Bears perspective, because boy, do they have some weapons and some fun plays that get drawn up by Ben Johnson. Uh,
This just
and
in, this just in. The Steelers cut Aaron Rodgers so that he can still own the Bears and sign with the Packers.
that would be good. We've got another game here that slight implications, I would say. The Chargers will be heading down to Dallas, where the Cowboys, for some odd reason, are 2.5 point favorites here. They had a rough week last week, coming off of a really bad loss to the Vikings. Um, I expect Dak to right the ship here. And they absolutely have to if they want to keep any chances of getting into. I think their chances of getting into the playoffs right now are slim to none. The tie is really, really holding the strings for them, but they're not mathematically eliminated. Some things could swing their way. They could absolutely get in, um, but they're not eliminated, and that's what keeps this game exciting from their standpoint. From the Chargers' standpoint, hey, they're the 5 seed. They have no chance at making it into the top four, but they have the Bills right behind them. And if the Bills can jump them at any time, they now are looking at a lower seed. And lower seed is not going to bode well for the Chargers, because that means that they'll end up having to play the Broncos much
The
sooner
toughest
than
teams on the road.
they'll have to play the toughest teams on the road, absolutely. And staying that higher seed means they've got a better chance at making the AFC Championship game. I don't think there's really a chance for them to do that, but if they want any chance at making it there, they need to win these final games and keep that 5 seed.
It's kind of cool from an observer standpoint. All the quarterbacks that have had playoff struggles, while Patrick Mahomes has gone to however many straight AFC Championship games. Like, who's gonna come out on top now? Like, your betting favorite should probably be Josh Allen, but there's still a chance Lamar Jackson squeaks in the playoffs. Justin Herbert is known for choking. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars just aren't good. I don't care how many points
You're a
they
big
score last
hater.
week. I don't
You're a
care.
big hater.
Yeah, if the Jaguars represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, like y'all can think of some sort of punishment for me to do. Like it's not happening.
Oh, we'll do that. I will happily do that.
I
But
mean,
this
I 100%. It's not going to happen. Jaguars will not be in the Super Bowl.
if the Cowboys do not make the playoffs this season, I think that is a massive failure on their side for the trades mid-season that they made, the preseason that they made, bringing in George Pickens for the head coaching hire. Jerry Jones doesn't like to move on quickly. We know that because he kept Mike McCarthy on way too long. Anything more than the first season was way too much for Mike McCarthy. So I don't expect them to be getting rid of Schottenheimer. Uh, but it would be the wrong move to keep him on should they miss the playoffs in week 16.
I mean, as much as I hate Dallas and Jerry Jones, I'm not a huge fan of dumping a head coach after only giving him one season. So
I mean, I agree with you. I think it definitely takes at least a couple seasons, even in the pros, to turn things around. But they've been a playoff team. They were a playoff team under Mike McCarthy. They were a playoff team, and we can undoubtedly say that this Cowboys team is better than it has been over the last couple of seasons. Their offensive line is good. Their defense is in a much better position than it has been in previous seasons. And
man, their
to end
defense
up,
sucks.
yes, but it's also way better than it's been in the previous 3 or 4 seasons. It is massively better, especially in the second half of the season as they made that trade for Quentin Williams. They've gotten much better, and they just cannot put it together. I normally think that it's the wrong move. Agree with you to dump a head coach after one season, but given the circumstances, I don't know if you can keep Schottenheimer on, especially as Jerry gets
Think so.
older and uh,
More senile, more
more
impulsive.
senile, and also near the end of his life. Guy wants to get a ring. This next game here, I'm actually very excited for. I know Sean would be if he's here, but he hates us. He hates the show. Doesn't want to be here any longer. Kidding, he'll be back in a couple weeks. He loves the Panthers. He thinks the Panthers are making the Super Bowl, and they'll play the Bucks at home, where Vegas has them as home dogs. Even though the Bucks have had that season, I mean they've performed well under expectations. Now,
Well, they have the
granted,
same record right now.
they
Like
they, they do, but the Bucks for what we expect from them, the way Baker Mayfield has played at the beginning of the season, even after losing Bucky, they played well. The defense was there. All of a sudden, nothing. You get nothing. You have nothing from Baker. Bucky comes back. You get nothing from him. Mike Evans is back. Oh, whoop de doo. Like they cannot string together. They cannot get a singular win at the moment. They couldn't buy a win.
I mean, I think Baker is struggling with lingering injuries again. I mean, he's picked up stuff this season, and I think the length of an NFL season is kind of wearing on him, because he puts up a tough fight, but it just always seems like there's not a whole lot of gas left in the tank when it comes to the fourth quarter. I mean, he put up a hell of a fight against the Bills, but I mean, it was either that week or the week before where things were starting to trend downwards, and they're on a losing streak, right? Like they've racked up a few
Absolutely.
losses in a row. Like
I believe they're on a 3 game losing streak, and I'm with you there. Mid-season, you lose Mike Evans, Chris Godwin still isn't back, Bucky Irving's out, Nate Otten isn't doing it. Like he doesn't have Emeka
and
Egbuka's out for a
Baker
couple of games.
and Baker
Like you
played all
you
those
have nothing.
games without those weapons and had to. I mean, similar to a Patrick Mahomes situation, had to do a lot himself, and it wears on you. Pat's torn ACL and Baker's seems like he might be limping through the end of the season. Like
And the Panthers are, even though they just took a loss to the Saints, it is a division rivalry. They've been picking it up. They've been playing well above expectations for the season. I feel like Bryce Young has been playing really, really well. At least
But I
the
mean,
maybe the
also
last
look at
quarter.
their, their both these teams have even records, right? I mean, that's the story of the Panthers this season. From what I've seen, it's one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. They might string a couple of wins in a row, but like they, you shouldn't be losing to a team like the Saints if you think you are trying to make the playoffs, and it, not necessarily like what version are we gonna get of the Panthers this week, but like can they get out of the rut of win one, lose one, good game, bad game?
They absolutely have to, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that whoever wins this game wins the division, makes the playoffs.
Duh. I mean, they
I mean,
have two
there's 3 games
matchups.
left.
I mean, they still have both matchups left, but duh. Wow, dude, that's great insight. The team that wins the matchup is going to win the division because they both have the same record right now. Duh.
Yeah, and then there's still 2 games left. So there's still the possibility that it doesn't, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say whoever wins this game is going to win the division.
Duh. Jags
This guy
Broncos. Okay.
sucks.
Duh.
It's talking about you, not Trevor Lawrence.
Jags Broncos.
Tell me about
You tell me about it. I didn't look up any playoff implications before this.
it.
Chiefs are out,
These
dude. I'm
two
depressed.
these two teams are primarily Broncos will be locked into a top 4 seed. They would have to lose all three, and the Chargers would have to win all three in order for the Chargers to be able to jump the Broncos to make the playoffs. They've got the playoffs locked for sure. The only question is will they retain the number 1 seed? The Patriots are right behind them, 1 game under at the 2 seed, and the Jaguars. They don't necessarily have the division locked up. There's still a way for the Texans to come in and steal it away from them. So they definitely have to walk out with wins wherever they can. It's highly unlikely that they can even get up to the number 1 spot. But here's the other side: is they could still slip to the 4th spot should they lose 4 games or 3 games in a row. It's big for the Jags because they still need to keep this spot and stay inside the top 4 and not give anything up to the Texans. Whereas the Broncos, like I said, they're in that number 1 spot. They could, if they lose any amount of games here, they could fall underneath the Patriots. And the number 1 seed is incredibly important because it's the only seed that gets a bye. And so the Broncos are going to have to rely on the defense in this game because the Jaguars' offense has been firing on all cylinders the last few weeks. I think they've put together 5 games in a row here, and that's with Brian Thomas Jr. not playing as a real number 1 wide receiver. Hasn't been doing very well. They've been leaning heavily on Travis Etienne. I think the Broncos are going to key on that.
Kobe
Uh,
Myers
uh,
came in and did just fine.
he's done well. He's definitely done well. But the Jags are going to have to lean heavy on Travis Etienne, and the Broncos defense knows how to scheme up a game plan. That's going to be very worrisome for the Jags because they really can't afford to drop really any of these 3 games.
I think you will see the Jaguars offense struggle. Like it's gonna foreshadow playing tough teams in the playoffs. Like I think they can be on a hot streak. They can put some things together, sure, but I don't think they'd have the caliber of offense to beat elite defenses, let alone in the AFC, but just in the NFL.
You hope they don't peak. I mean, I hope they're not peaking too early. You obviously are hoping that they are peaking too early because you're a
I
you're
mean,
a
I know
Jacksonville
they're peaking
hater.
too early. Like the Jags will lose in the playoffs.
I don't disagree with that. I don't. They're not making the Super Bowl. That's an absolute. You can take that one to the bank.
So what am I even worried for? Like what? I mean,
You said if they make the AFC Championship, that will give you a punishment.
I said if they represent the AFC in the Super Bowl,
Oh, okay. All right. Fair enough. I hope they do now just because of that, but
they won't.
they won't. They won't. But
they won't make the AFC Championship game. The divisional round is their ceiling.
keeping that 3 seed is going to be very, very important for them to have any shot at doing so. They fall to the 4 and you can kiss that goodbye. You fall out of the top 4, yeah, good luck. There's no shot you can it's not happening.
Yeah, I
Um
mean they need this game, so I mean if they it's I see it possible to like rouse up the motivation and play really well. But you got to do that in Denver against the best defense.
Well, and throw this in there. We talked a little bit earlier about how poor Bo Nix has played so far this season. He's strung together the last 3 games have been really fantastic. And take a look at last week
I
against the
mean, the
Packers,
last week
whose
was
defense that
impressive.
we've been saying really good.
Last
That
week was
was
impressive.
impressive. Where his ball placement, velocity, how he was able to escape the pocket, which his escapability has always been really, really good. But his ball placement last week, maybe he's peaking at the right time because Bo Nix looked really, really, really strong
I mean,
against the Packers.
that would be exactly what the Broncos need.
Absolutely.
Get all the kinks out in the regular season and hit your stride last couple games of the season, bro. It, Broncos are the team to beat. So the Jags could make a huge statement if they pull it out, but I just the likelihood of that is so unlikely.
Next up, one game that this could change the tides of both divisions. We've got the Steelers. They'll be heading into Detroit, where the Lions 7-point favorites, and the Steelers right now leading the division, but the Ravens are knocking on the door. Ravens are right there. I mean, only one team is making it from the AFC North. You're not getting multiple. The AFC is not shaping up to have a 9-win or even a 10-win team walk into the playoffs. And either them or either the Steelers or the Ravens are going to walk away not no more than 10 wins. And the only way you're going to get in is by winning the division. And you've got TJ Watt with the collapsed lung. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. It could make it back for the playoffs should they be able to qualify for that. But even that is a stretch, and that is primarily the largest piece of your defense. That's the guy that even though you played well against Miami, it's Miami,
That's your
right? And you're
franchise player. Like you have a
absolutely
you have a 42-year-old at quarterback that is clearly not a franchise quarterback. That is your franchise player. Like
and absolutely, and you're going up against the team that you've got to pressure the quarterback, and you've got to be able to get him on the ground. Jared Goff is a guy. If you give him any time at all, he will slice and dice you, and he's got the weapons around to do it.
yeah,
I do not.
you let the Lions offense stay in rhythm without getting pressure. It'll be a long night for the Steelers.
Now, here's the thing: Mike Tomlin's a fantastic defensive coordinator. He knows how to scheme it up. You have to make this a defensive battle. You have to absolutely because that's the only
Because the
way that you
Lions
can win
aren't
this
great
game.
on defense.
Because the Lions are not great on defense. So like you're still not going to put up a ton of points, right? You will perform better than you have previously against other teams whose defenses are at least competent. But you've got to rely on making this a defensive battle because if not, the Lions are running away with this one by I think seven's not enough. I think seven's not enough. They put this line way too low. Vegas did because with Amon Ra, who's been
Now,
playing amazing, Jameer Gibbs, even
this
without Sam Laporta, they've been going out and putting up 30, 40-point bombs. It doesn't matter.
yeah, I mean Jameer Gibbs is a cheat code. The Lions offense got to keep it unlocked.
I have to
Um,
play him this week in fantasy, and I'm not happy about it.
uh, however, last week's performance out of the Steelers was a surprise for me. So it's like going into Detroit makes it even harder. But like they could do it, they could pull it off.
Absolutely.
But I think it's more likely than the Jags beating the Broncos, even though the
I can
spread
get
is
behind that.
seven. But
I can get behind that.
even though the spread is, I mean, Aaron Rodgers pulls a game out of his ass just like last week. It could be a shootout. And stranger things have happened in the NFL. Trust me.
You get
But
DK Metcalf throwing a couple guys off of him and running it.
yeah,
Hey, it can. Hey, stranger things have happened.
DK's a beast, bro.
But on the flip side of this, we've talked a
I
lot about
wish
the
he was a better
Steelers.
route runner because, like, DK, like, DK almost has like Calvin Johnson esque like athleticism.
Qualities. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
like he can bully people, but like if he was just like the crispiest route runner, bro, he would be unstoppable.
So good. But on the flip side of this, man, the Lions, you have to win. Like you, it doesn't matter if it's 1 point or 100 points that you win by. You just have to string together these wins because I believe the Packers are going to fall. I believe the Packers are going to fall. But if you take one loss, it's over. You're out. You're done. It doesn't. The only team that you can jump here is the Packers, and you can maybe squeak in, but you got to win three, and you need a little bit of help. That's the only way that this is going to happen for you, Lions and Lions fans. The only way you're squeaking in is you have to win out. You'll get the help that you need. But you lose here to the Steelers, it's done. It's over with. Kiss your season goodbye, and it's not a good look for Dan Campbell or his hires for offensive coordinator and defensive, especially defensive coordinator.
I mean, the biggest benefit of the schedule right now is that the Packers and the Bears are playing each other this week, and one of those teams has to lose. So the Lions are clinging to something, but yeah,
Your better bet is the
they have
Packers to lose because they've got
they
more chance at
well,
losing
yeah,
additional games.
yeah, they need to win out.
Last one that I wanted to take a look at here, and you might be thinking, well, why is this an implication game? Why is this one that matters? It's Patriots who are heading into Baltimore and taking on the Ravens. Vegas has the line at Ravens 3 point favorites. I don't know how they got this.
Wild.
I, this is,
Lamar's not playing well. If you want to favor the Ravens by like one here because they're the home field advantage, like I could see that, but giving
I
them the -3 against the Patriots is a head scratcher to me.
I have to check this to make just like I checked it 3 times when I wrote it down, and I'm going to check it one more time. Yeah, Ravens are 3 point favorites on Sunday night against the Patriots, whose defense has been phenomenal. Drake May has been phenomenal. He's one of the leaders in the MVP race. You've got Travion Henderson, who in the backfield just goes off every single game, it seems like, since they've finally been letting him tote the rock. The only reason why you could sit here and go, oh, okay, maybe the Patriots should be in this situation, at least with the line, is because their receiving core has been poor. But take a look on the other side of this. The Ravens defense has been bad. They only had a couple weeks where they actually looked good. They're one of the worst teams against the pass. They've let
Well,
up like the
here's the
fourth most
thing:
points to receivers.
when they win games, the defense plays well.
Sure.
When the defense plays well, they win games. Like the one leads to the other. Like they got a awesome looking defensive touchdown. Was that last week or the week before?
I believe it was last week.
So because they creamed the Bengals,
Bengals.
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So when the defense makes plays like that, it's almost a lock that the Ravens will win because they'll do just enough on offense. They didn't have to do a whole lot against the Bengals. Um, I don't know if the Pats defense has been that great, but
Outside the Bills games, they've been really
I still
stellar.
feel like
Granted,
Lamar
strength of
Jackson
schedule,
has
but
played poorly, and the Ravens defense has been wishy washy. The -3 still is laughable to me.
it is. And I mean, it's not, you talked about Lamar. Derrick Henry hasn't even really played up to Derrick Henry standards. I think Father Time may be getting him a little bit this season. Maybe that's what we're
Absolutely.
seeing.
Look how much he toted
Um,
the rock last year.
yeah, yeah. Well, and not having Lamar for a multitude of games this season and being the only guy out there willing to do anything will do that for you, right? But they
You
just
still
don't
see
have any help.
glimpses of the old Derrick Henry, like
Absolutely, you get glimpses,
few and
yeah.
far between, but he he ran the ball too much last year for how old he is, and it's almost time.
Here's the implications for this game. Ravens lose, they're done. I know they've got roughly the same record as the Steelers. I think they do play them one more time. I didn't actually look at the schedule, but you lose this game and you're handing the division over to the Steelers. I think that's the
Well, if they
end of it.
both lose, it's all right.
That's fair. That is, if they both lose, that's fair. But you have to take control of your own destiny, and you have to win what's in front of you.
Yeah, it's not the way you
Um,
want to get into the playoffs, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. You
it's
if
like a
you
battle of
lose, you can't
attrition, but
also hope that the other team you're competing against is also losing. Like, just take control of your own destiny. For the Patriots, what we've got here is, hey, you're the 2 seed. You're one game behind the Broncos. You can lock up that 1 seed.
oh, they're
Not
still
lock it
ahead of
up,
the
but you
Bills
can.
after losing.
Yes, they are still ahead of the Bills. Yeah, by 1 game. So yeah, that's the flip side of this is like, hey, you're 1 game away from being 2 games away
They
from being
could
the
let it
one
slip
seed.
through their fingers.
You're literally 1 game away from not being in the top four.
Yeah,
That's how close this margin is. You can if you lose a game, Bills are jumping up there. If you win this game, and hey, maybe the Jags pull it out. Maybe the
yeah.
Jags pull it out. Now you're on par with the Broncos. I think by how they do their other metrics for ties, you're still below. But hey, you're now 1 game closer. You're 1 game closer, and you're forcing the Broncos to have to play all 18 games and not sit their guys in week 18. Pull this one out, get the next one. I think there's a chance in there that the Broncos can drop one and you can get up there and take that 1 seed. Um, but it's gonna be tight. You definitely cannot drop this one to the Ravens. If Ravens, you want any chance of making the playoffs, can't let any of them up. You got to win all of them.
Man, it's that time of the season. There's a lot to play for out there. It's depressing that the Chiefs are not involved,
Sad.
but this list of 6 games here, like there's a lot to play for. Um, there's gonna be some amazing plays happen this weekend because like guys are trying to show out. They're
When's the last
they're
time?
gonna put
When's
it
the
all
last
out on
time
the
we had
line.
6 games in a weekend from the NFL that were like, oh man, this is going to be interesting the way that this is going. And on top of that, we're also hitting the same time we talked about earlier the show incentives. We're at incentive times. Guys can hit incentives this week, or they can get themselves closer to week to it at week 18. Like we got big things going on. This is really exciting to see that we've got 6 games in a full weekend because I feel like it hasn't happened since like maybe week 4.
There's no playoff implications in week 4.
I just meant exciting games, guy. Exciting games. All right, let's go ahead and pick these. We talked about some
Let's
of the
get
spreads
hey,
that are
hey,
going
I'm
on here.
hungry, so let's get through these picks
Get through them,
quick.
dude. Let's get through them, dude. I'm hungry too. Let's see. We finished off last week. I said you were going to be the definitive winner, but you lost the last game. The Steelers did pull it out while you picked the Dolphins. I am up by 1 game on you. I am 500. You are 1 point below.
But I
But you
won
did win
last week,
last week. So where are you picking? One or two?
too.
2. All right. Well, we'll start off Thursday night football. This one's going to be very, very fun. We talked about it just slightly with the Puka Nacua news. On Thursday night football, you've got the Los Angeles Rams. They're heading into Seattle, which, by the way, right before the show started, it was breaking news from Adam Schefter that the Rams plane had mechanical problems before takeoff, and they are still awaiting to leave LA to go to Seattle, where the Seahawks will be 1 point
It's not like it's
favorites.
a long plane ride.
It's not a long plane ride, but you also don't want mechanical problems on a plane that you'll be 30,000 feet in the air for.
So you think the Lions are just gonna die and or not
Well,
the Ram
the,
the Rams are just gonna die and they'll lose this game?
we are Marshall, dude.
Whoa.
1.5 point favorites at
Why
home. The
didn't you
Seahawks
include
are.
this game in like playoff implication stuff?
Because I didn't want to talk about Thursday night football. I don't know. I thought about it, and then I decided to leave it out.
All right.
Playoff implications are here.
It's another good
For
game. It's I
really
mean,
good. I mean, hey, if the Seahawks pull this one out, I think they jump the Rams for the division so far, again, with 2 weeks remaining after this game, and they'll be in contention for the number one seed. You've also got the 49ers who have the same record as the Seahawks. So something to keep in mind as we finish out through the remaining 3 weeks. With Seahawks being 1.5 point favorites at home, I'm still going to believe in the Rams, even with Devontae Adams doubtful for this game, unlikely to play.
I honestly think Sam Darnold's been kind of trending downward, so I'm gonna pick the Rams as well.
We're not going to have Sean's picks live. He hasn't put them in yet, but we will have him here. We'll be keeping track of him. It's not like it matters because he's so far out of contention for winning against
Yeah,
the spread.
we don't need Sean's picks. It's okay.
40 points down.
Unless he's like trying to be bad and like how bad of a record can he get?
He's not going to listen to this. We need to fine him more over the next couple of weeks through the end of the Super Bowl, so he has to pay more
So he has
in
to pay
fines
more.
because he's probably got like $4 in fines right now. With Thursday night football over, that jumps us into two Saturday games. The first one's going to be at 4 o'clock Central. The next one's going to be at 7:20 Central. This will also be intertwining with college football playoffs on Saturday. So maybe, hopefully, you got YouTube TV and can throw them all up there. But if not, use one of those links out there because on Saturday at 4 o'clock, you might not want to pay attention to this one. Philadelphia Eagles play division rivals in Virginia, the Washington Commanders, who are 6.5 point dogs at home. I don't think this one's going to be even relatively close. I don't think it's going to be a good game. Not really going to pay attention to it. I'll take the Eagles to walk away with a fat win here.
Crazy things happen in divisional games. Like I really want to pick the Commanders, um,
We'll do it.
but I like their defense is really bad. So
And Jaden Daniels isn't playing.
Eagles. Well, I mean, but Mariota,
Mariota's
like
played well. He's played well.
when they when they get certain, I guess like kind of surprise chunk plays. Like I mean, like they can scheme decently well for Mariota's play style, but yeah, I don't think their defense holds up against the Eagles.
One of the games that everybody should be watching very, very closely and with playoff implications Saturday night is Green Bay Packers. They'll be heading into Soldier Field where Caleb Williams and the Bears are 1.5 point dogs at home. It's a very interesting line. I don't know what Vegas is thinking, especially with seeing Micah Parsons out, but I will be taking the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to feel like this means a little bit more to the Bears. If the Packers win, it's going to be a tough task, I feel like. So I'm taking the Bears.
And like you said, the weather isn't going to be the factor here, but having the home field in this game with the Chicago fans who haven't been to the playoffs in years, you've got some excitement. Your team's very close to the number one spot in the NFC. I think that crowd is going to be very, very loud. Next up, we'll get to our Sunday group of games here, starting off in the noon hour. Big spread coming in. We've got the Buffalo Bills. They're heading into Cleveland, where the Browns and Shadeur Sanders are 10 point dogs at home. I think that losing will continue for Shadeur and the Browns, and in a big way. Give me the Bills.
Dude, when I was doing my fantasy research, like everybody is saying that Quinshawn Judkins is going to have a big game against the Bills, but I don't I don't see the game script allowing that to happen because the Browns are going to be down. Um, it's it's the Bills. I mean,
Next up at the noon hour, and probably one of the only times, I think the only time during the regular season in which we've picked a Chiefs game during against the spread and not in their own segment. The Kansas City Chiefs, they'll be heading into Nashville, taking on the Titans, where Cam Ward is a 3 point dog at home. I know the Titans are bad. I know they're bad, but I don't know why they're dogs. I don't, I, Travis Kelsey's going to be out. I don't think Chris Jones is going to play. Travis Kelsey doesn't, he's not actually out. I don't know. I would assume that he would probably just recuse himself. Garner Minshew is the quarterback. If you've got Rashee Rice in fantasy, sucks to be you because it also sucks to be me. I'm taking the Titans.
I'll take the Chiefs.
I just got to cover three
They
with Garner
they need
Minshew.
a
I'm fine with
they
that.
need a they need a feel good win.
It's not going to feel good if we win because that means we've got a lower draft pick. We need the higher draft picks. Go ahead and take it on. Next up at noon, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. They're heading into Dallas, where the Cowboys are 2.5 point favorites at home after a bad loss to the Vikings. The Chargers really need to keep wins going. Any let up at all means that the Bills could jump them and they could drop down into six. They could get very close to seven. I don't think there's a chance that they miss out on the playoffs, but any losses here slides them further and further down the totem pole, which means they're going to have to play the Broncos sooner, and their chances at making an AFC championship go out the window all the more likely. With that said, I'll take the Cowboys.
Damn it! I was gonna take the Cowboys. Fine, I'll take the Chargers. Come
You can
on,
tell me
Herbie.
it's okay.
I mean, I can't.
This one,
I have to make up. I have to make up a game. Like, come
you
on,
have to make up one, but you could go two down.
dude, get on with it.
This game I'm actually really excited about. I think it's going to be bad football, and that means it's going to be good football because the Tampa Bay
No, bad
Buccaneers.
football means good TV sometimes.
That's fair. That's fair. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're heading into North Carolina, where Bryce Young and the Panthers are 3 point dogs at home. Bucks have been sliding, but Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are back, and they've been playing pretty well since at least in last week. Amika Big Boo has not. Shout out Gronk.
No.
Shout out Gronk.
Am
Shout out
I?
Gronk.
Oh, I was like, am I allowed to fine you for that?
Shout out Gronk. Amika
Big
Big Boo
Big Boo.
has has not been playing that well. Bucky Irving has been returning to a little bit of form, but the most concerning thing here is the Bucks defense has been very poor, while the Panthers defense has been really strong, even in some of their losses. I think I will take the Panthers here.
I'm gonna believe in my boy Baker. I'll take the Bucks. I mean, it's purely trying to create opportunity to flip the record here. So
Absolutely, yeah. Winner here gets into the division for sure. But next up in the noon hour, we've got two teams that are out of it. We've got a couple teams that'll be out of it here in a quick stretch. Vikings will be playing the Giants. Giants are 3 point dogs at home. I really don't like that matchup for Jackson Dart because he is the quarterback I have to play because Patrick Mahomes is out. Sucks. Uh,
I
don't
told you to sit him.
I know. I don't have a choice. I don't think nine is going to be making a reoccurrence in this game. So you know what? I'll take the Giants.
I mean, do I think the Vikings can get it done on the road? Giants have a decent pass rush too. I'll take the Vikings.
Next up, we've got the Cincinnati Bengals with no fun Joe Burrow. No fun having Joe Burrow.
He's
They'll be
not
heading
having fun.
they'll be heading into Miami where the Dolphins have a new starting quarterback. It's the Quinn Ewers
Joe
era.
Burrow for Patrick Mahomes straight up.
No. Dolphins are 3.5 point dogs at home, and I think that is probably very likely. Give me the Bungles.
Bengals.
Next up, we have final game of the noon hour here. We've got the New York Jets. They are heading to New Orleans, where the Saints are 1.5 point favorites at home. Their defense has been playing a lot better. They just had a big win against the Panthers. They have really nothing to lose here except for maybe a better draft pick. But at the end of the day, I think they're really trying to figure out who they are for this next upcoming season to maybe attract some free agents as their books will open up. Their cap room will free up. And the Saints are just on a downward trend. They've got no quarterback. You can't get anything going. So give me the Saints.
You just said the Saints don't have a quarterback. They can't get anything going.
So
So give me
I
the
meant the
Saints.
Jets. Apologies. The Jets don't have a quarterback. They can't get anything going. Give me the Saints.
Hmm. Yeah. Saints.
Into the 3 o'clock games. First off, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They'll be taking on the Broncos, who are 3-point favorites in Mile High. Um, as much as I want the Jaguars to win this game and just make the top three a ridiculous mess going into week 18, I don't believe that they can do it. So give me the Broncos.
Broncos.
Game with no implications. Both teams are eliminated. At 3:05 as well, we've got the Falcons and Kirk Cousins will be playing the Cardinals in Arizona, and they are 3-point dogs at home. I think they get Drake London back. I really need him to go off this week, as well as Bijan. I'll take the Falcons here.
Hmm.
I
Give me
also need
Jacoby
Michael.
Brissett.
I also need Jacoby and Michael Wilson to go off. So I just need a big offensive game here.
Give me my stardom fantasy quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, babe.
Last game at oh no, sorry, first game at 3:25. A game also that doesn't really mean much. The Texans need a win here. Raiders heading into Houston, where the Texans are 14.5-point favorites at home.
Oh my goodness.
I think they'll do it. The Raiders are that bad.
Oh my goodness. 14 points, man.
14
I'll
and a
take the
half.
I'll take the Raiders to cover. No, no,
Bad
no, no, no,
move.
no, 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 I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. I won't. No, I won't. Give me the Texans.
That was almost a bad move, brother. Last game at 3:25, a big one with implications. The Steelers will be heading to Detroit, where the Lions are 7-point favorites at home. The only way that that 7 points is covered is if the Lions just score on literally every drive, even with TJ Watt out. The Steelers have something to play for. I think they can at least cover. I'll take the Steelers.
Wow, I'll take the Lions here.
Sunday night football. This one could end the Ravens' hope as long as the Steelers would be able to pull out a win before this. Patriots heading to Baltimore, where Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are 3-point favorites. Don't know what Vegas has got cooking up their sleeves here, but I'll take the Patriots.
I would like to see Lamar Jackson in the playoffs because it's a whole new season. Then maybe they go on some sort of wild run, but realistically, I just don't think they beat the Patriots. Give me the Patriots.
Still in it if the Steelers lose to the Lions as well.
Yeah.
Will be interesting. Monday Night Football. Slightly
Monday
exciting, I guess.
night.
I guess there's playoff implications here. If the Colts continue to lose, they're out of the playoffs. Don't really care about them though because they're not fun. The 49ers heading to the Midwest to Indianapolis. The Colts at home are 6.5-point dogs.
Ooh.
It's a lot. 49ers defense is very good. Brandon Ayuk is tweeting out weird lingo. I don't understand. I'll take the Niners here.
Would you? I will. I'll take the Colts to cover. Um, I mean, they just played the Seahawks tough.
They
Um,
did, but you're also a Sam Darnold hater.
anyways, um, would you take a flyer on a wide receiver like Brandon Ayuk if it was like even remotely possible that we get him on our roster?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think talent level wise, absolutely. I think that could be a big hope to this offense, getting a guy in with experience. Now the question is locker room issue, although it doesn't seem like locker room issue has ever been the thing. It's been more about contract and does he want to actually play for the 49ers? It seems like he feels disrespected by them in some way, more than because they obviously paid him. So you figure that issue out. I don't think you have a problem with Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
That's week 16 in a nutshell, folks. We are excited. Tons and tons of games that mean a lot, but also should be very, very exciting. So make sure you tune in early next week because we're right around the corner. 17's coming up, 18's right there, and then we're in the playoffs. We're going to be having fun on Super Wild Card Weekend. Good luck on your fantasy football
Hey,
matchups.
hey, hey, real quick
Yeah,
reminder. You can't say go Chiefs to end this podcast because you just picked the Titans.
I picked the Chargers last week, and guess what? I still said go
Go
Chiefs.
Chiefs! Fuck you, Ty Bob.